Hi girls. So today we're talking about our two-way frequency table and what it means to find the union or the intersection of events. Union, another word for that is the combination of events, that I have the word or happening. Intersection is the overlap of events where we have and. The example we've been using talks about two sets of data that was collected from whether a person identified as male or female, and that they chose a sport utility vehicle or they preferred a sports car. We're going to use this example to go through and find out what they are for the union and the intersection. As it says here, intersection is and, union is or. What does that mean? For and, that the chances that both events are going to occur, that is the overlap of them. We have a notation here. I like to think this and looks like an M, so that's how I know that. So this is talking about the probability of the intersection of A and B. And our formula for that is the overlap of A and B divided by the total, which is our sample space. So let's do the intersection first. So I want to have the overlap divided by the total. So in this case, if we're talking about, let's say, the events that I am female and I prefer an SUV, I want to find the overlap of those events divided by our total. Now we know the total already. If we look back up here, there were 240 people that were interviewed in this survey. So my total is 240 I'm dividing by. Now I want to find the overlap. So where is it that someone is a female and they prefer SUV in my table? So if we scroll back up here, female is going to be this row, and preferring SUVs is going to be this row. What is the one cell that has an overlap? That is this number right here, 135. That is the overlap. Again, this whole row are my females. This whole column is SUV. Where do they overlap? This cell right here at 135. So that is my overlap, 135. That would be my final answer. I'm not going to reduce it. I'm going to leave it in a fraction form because that's the most precise value. So the intersection of female and SUV would be 135 over 240. Now I chose to do this one first because for our union, we need the intersection in that formula. So if we go back over here, union is or, that's the chances that at least one event occurs or a combination of the two. And that's going to have what looks like a U in between it, U for union. That's the probability of A union B. The formula for that is our event A plus our event B minus the overlap, and again, all divided by our total. So if we come over here, we want to go ahead and do that. So we need A plus B minus overlap, all divided by 240. I can put these in parentheses just so I know that's what I'm working with. Fortunately, we already have our overlap because we already found that. And that overlap was A plus B minus 135 divided by 240. So again, we're looking for the union, if we want to go ahead and do this, probability that we are female or prefer an SUV. We still need to find out what A and B are. So again, if A is going to be your first one, you're female, and B can be our second event that we prefer an SUV. So we come back up here. So I want to know how many are female. So in this table, total of females over here, I have 180 total females. So I'm going to replace this A with 180. B is that they prefer an SUV. So for my SUV, I'm going to scroll down. I have a total of 156 people preferred an SUV. Now the reason why I'm subtracting the overlap here is because if I come back and look at this, if I have the amount of people that identified as female, and then so that's 135 and 45, that gave me a total of 180. Now I have people that preferred SUVs. That is 21 and 135, which comes to a total of 156. If you don't notice, that 135, I counted twice by accident, right? That's included in if I'm identifying myself, as a female, or if I'm preferring an SUV. We can't have this number count twice. That's going to throw up our data. And that's why we have to subtract the overlap over here. This 135 counted twice. So I need to subtract that. When we go ahead and do this, so we want to know what's 180 plus 256 minus 135. If we do that in our calculator, that should get 201 over 240 would be our final answer for the probability that someone either identifies as female or prefers an SUV. So again, our union formula, which means combination, is our probability, or excuse me, our one event plus the other event minus their overlap divided by total. Our intersection is the overlap divided by the total. Okay, and again, this is all using this table. If I'm not given the frequency table, I can always make the frequency table and then use that in order to answer these questions. So now that we've finished that, let's come back down here and let's answer these. So N for the number of M and V. So it's the number of males who prefer SUVs, right? Because I'm both a male and I prefer an SUV. That's an and, that's both. So let's go up. Now, I just want to be clear, this is numbers. We're not doing probability here. The only difference for a probability was I would just put it over the total. So how many are males and prefer SUV? Let's look for that overlap. Here are my males and preferring an SUV. That is 21. So that answer is 21. If I asked you for the probability of that, it would have been 21 out of the 240 in total they surveyed. But we're not doing probability right now. This is just the number. Second, what are the number of those that are F and C? So that is the number of females who prefer a sports car. Let's come back up. Female and sports car, that's going to be 45. And then F or C, that is females or preferring a sports car. Again, that's a union of sets. So it's the same idea. I want to do A plus B minus the overlap. I'm just not going to have it in a fraction with the total. So female or preferring a sports car. So female, I've got 180 females. Preferring a sports car, we have 84. So 180 plus 84 minus the overlap. Again, here's 180 females. Here is 84 that preferred a sports car. This 45 was counted twice, so I need to subtract it as the overlap, minus 45. When we put that into our calculator, 180 plus 84 minus 45, that gets us 219. Okay?